So obviously I'm starting off this video with a mild disclaimer because this situation is so unlike anything I have ever seen. And there's so much speculation right now about what's going on in the markets, who's in on it, and what this means for the future of Robinhood, Wall Street bets, and the stock at the middle of all of it, GameStop. In the last week, we've seen GameStop, a near-bankrupted company, soar to almost $500 a share, which drove media attention around the world as hedge funds started losing billions of dollars while they bet the price of the stock would go down, which it didn't as more and more people kept buying in. But during the peak pivotal moments of GameStop rising exponentially in price, making people deca-millionaires in the process, buying of the stock was disabled by several brokerages, the most notable being Robinhood, which subsequently drove the price down. Obviously, in response to that, many people called it blatant market manipulation since Robinhood routes their order flows to Citadel, who lent money to Melvin Capital, who is losing billions as GameStop continued going up in price. And not too much longer after that, class action lawsuits were filed. And that's where we previously left off, except now there's a whole bunch new information that's just been revealed, including an SEC investigation, accusations that the CEO of Robinhood was not properly licensed, market manipulation on social media, and suspicions around the king himself, Deep Effin' Value, who's up $44 million at the peak of GameStop, who really all of a sudden just stopped posting. So now that enough time has gone by for me to be able to post this, let's talk about what's currently going on, the status of the current lawsuit and investigation. And then, as usual, I will share my very unbiased, non-speculative thoughts that should not be mistaken for investment advice. If you understand that all of this is just for entertainment purposes only, just go ahead and show your support and say that you agree by smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for doing that, and also big thank you to Policy Genius for sponsoring this video, but more on that later. Okay, so let's start off at probably one of the most talked about points right now, and that would be the SEC investigation around market manipulation and who's responsible for pumping up the price of the stock and the stock suddenly becoming halted. And for those not aware, the SEC is an abbreviation for the Securities and Exchange Commission, who's a regulatory agency who oversees the market for fair and honest conduct. Their goal is to protect investors against fraudulent and manipulative practices. And I think the general consensus among most people is that there's probably something fishy going on. As of a few days ago, the SEC publicly announced that they would be reviewing social media posts in tandem with trading data to help determine if any misinformation was spread to help boost the price of the stock. But even though the SEC promises to protect retail traders from manipulative and predatory behavior, much of their initial response seems to be on the retail trader themselves and the posts they make online. Enter Wall Street Bets. This is a community of now over 8.5 million users who post their gains, losses, and whether or not they like a certain stock. From there, other users can come to their own conclusion as to whether or not they agree with that opinion and if it might be a viable investment. But it's speculated that the SEC might want to investigate one user in particular, and that would be Deep Effin' Value. He was made karma famous by his daily GameStop YOLO posts where he would screenshot his profits or his losses going all in on GameStop. The speculation goes even further when 24 hours after the announcement of an SEC investigation and a public tweet saying that US Representative Maxine Waters wants him to testify in the upcoming GameStop hearing, Deep Effin' Value goes silent and says he won't be posting any further updates with no explanation why. Now, even though the common narrative is that the SEC is trying to silence him, here's my totally not legal advice, really bad opinion on what might possibly be going on. In order for the SEC to find any wrongdoing, they're going to investigate everything and everyone, including Deep Effin' Value. That doesn't mean there is actually any wrongdoing or that they could prosecute anyone for posting their trades online in a public forum. But it wouldn't be a fair investigation if they left out the largest stock market board on the internet, with a user making tens of millions of dollars at the center of it. When it comes to this, I wouldn't see any cause for concern for an SEC investigation because, in my totally not legal advice opinion, there's nothing inherently wrong about publicly posting your trades online. You're not responsible for how people might interpret that information or what they would do with that information, and this is all just standard protocol for the SEC. Not to mention, this user has been posting about these trades for months now, and nobody's cared until all of a sudden the price starts going up. Now, obviously, if you knowingly spread false information to pump up a stock before you dump it for a profit, then that's bad and that's wrong. But even still, proving that you knew it was false information and not just a really bad opinion is going to be extremely difficult. So even though the SEC can and should look everywhere they can, I don't think the investigation is anything out of the ordinary. And instead, it might turn back around to, Wait for it, Robinhood. But don't worry, if this type of stuff gets you all stressed out, then it might be a good idea to get some life insurance. And thankfully, our video sponsor today, Policy Genius, is here to help. Policy Genius is an insurance marketplace, not an insurance company, so they will help you check off 2 big items with ease. 1, compare insurance rates, and 2, save 50% or more in the process. That means you're gonna have more money left over to put towards the things you care about the most, like investments that you like a lot. In fact, you could save $1,300 or more per year by using Policy Genius to compare life insurance policies. But seriously, they make it extremely easy to apply online, compare all of your personalized quotes from top companies in one place, and best of all, you could get unbiased advice from Policy Genius experts on the right policy for you. I know it sounds daunting to go and get life insurance, and it's so easy to want to put that off another day, but they make the entire process incredibly simple. Just go to their website, answer a few quick questions, and within minutes, they'll show you the best recommended options all in one spot. And remember, you could save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. So go ahead and visit policygenius.com/Graham to shop the market and start saving today. Anyway, back to the topic of Robinhood, because this is where it gets juicy. As most of us are aware, this all started when the brokerage Robinhood disabled the buy button, causing the price of the stock to drop. When trading eventually resumed, the price had fallen 87% from its high, causing some people to lose a lot of money for forces that were largely outside of their control. Robinhood and several other brokerages say that they were forced to make that restriction due to last-minute financial requirements from an even bigger regulatory agency. That's caused a lot of people to believe that somebody was in on it and they wanted the price of the stock to go down. As of now, the Robinhood CEO is scheduled to testify before the House Financial Committee on February 18th. And I'm sure over these next few months, more details are going to emerge about the root of the problem and now how it could be fixed. That also coincides with articles coming out about the Robinhood CEO not being licensed by FIRNA, and really just anything to put more of a spotlight on the company. Now, to clear some things up, as my totally unbiased, irrelevant opinion, to me the FIRNA articles just seems like an unnecessary hit piece against Robinhood by highlighting somewhat irrelevant information. The general consensus is that as a CEO, he's not required to be licensed by FIRNA because he's not managing accounts as a broker. And both Robinhood Financial and Robinhood Securities are licensed as required. So to me, this is really blown out of proportion and not a big deal. However, I am looking forward to a further investigation to be conducted to determine whether or not any foul play was involved. To me, the disabling of the buy button was a huge curveball, and given that there was a conflict of interest between Robinhood, who routes order flow to Citadel, who lent money to Melvin Capital, who wanted the price of the stock to go down, it is worth looking into further. Most likely, this is going to impose regulation around brokers and clearinghouses being completely neutral of each other so as to eliminate any possibility of there being an ulterior motive or a conflict of interest. And potentially, they can improve the 2-day stock market settlements so that transactions won't be delayed and stock market trades could happen in real time. But for me, the biggest concern is that there is a conflict of interest between agencies. And whether or not any wrongdoing even existed, it is worth at least looking into that relationship. Now, as far as my totally unbiased, not investment advice for entertainment purposes only thoughts on all of this, here you go. First, deep effing value. I think too many people followed him too literally and copied his exact move simply because he had tens of millions of dollars at stake. But what many people forget is that he is playing entirely with house money. He's entirely in profit, and in his position, it's impossible to lose. That's why I find it shocking that so many people responded back to him with, "If he's in, I'm in," even though many of those people were buying in when it was $300 or more per share. There's a big difference in holding on to that since $4 a share and everything above that being profit and buying in at $300 in hopes that he knows something you don't. My best educated guess is that he's not posting because he's cashed out. He's made more money than most people make in 10 lifetimes. And if he posted that he sold, he would most likely crash the entire market because everyone looks to him for what to do. He might also upset some people who were hurt that he was able to get out before they could. Now, do I feel like he's responsible for what people do with his information? No. Absolutely not. But if he were to hire an attorney, which I think he's a smart guy and most likely that's probably the case, that attorney would most likely tell him just to shut up, stop posting on Reddit, take profits, lay low, and then comply with whatever comes your way. The second, let's talk about Wall Street Bets. I think it's no surprise I'm a huge fan of the community. I've been browsing that subreddit for about 2 years now. I find it extremely entertaining, and every now and then I'll come across some very well-written insights. However, I don't think Wall Street Bets guess, is ever going to be held liable for anything said on a public forum. Even though there's very much of a hive mindset going on, that's just normal human behavior throughout pretty much everything. However, where I see the biggest problem is how many people bought into GameStop at exorbitant prices for the sole purpose of sticking it to the man. At the end of the day, in hindsight, a lot of those people ended up losing the most amount of money. And even though hedge funds might be able to stomach some of those losses, as an everyday retail investor, losing 60 to 80% of your investment could be a severe financial blow. You should never trade to prove a point or try to stick it to hedge funds. Investing is really just about long-term growth or investing in an undervalued company long-term, not doing it despite a company who you don't like. Third, let's talk about speculation. The reality is, in most situations like this, even the best educated guesses are wrong, and it's really up to you to decide how much you want to invest and how much you are prepared to lose. As this event has shown us, anything could happen, and even under the perfect conditions, short-term speculating is a dirty game. I think it's very important to realize that holding on to a poorly timed investment longer does not then make it a good investment. And it's really going to be up to you to decide for yourself where you cut that off. If you're willing to ride it to the ground, then so be it. But if this is money that's worth a lot to you, then it's worth it to be careful. There's no shame to taking profits and being a level-headed, rounded investor. And lastly, we got to talk about media attention. Many people would argue that peak media attention also coincides with peak prices, and to me, I think that's correct. The price of GameStop keeps going up as more people talk and cover it. But as soon as that attention goes away and moves on to something else, as it will inevitably for everything, the price will eventually fall as so many people could only buy in at once. Now sure, Wall Street Bets claims that media attention purposely diverted itself away over to silver, or by saying that short sellers had already covered and exited their positions to scare people into selling off. And yeah, that probably did have a detrimental effect. But attention was driving the price, and the right time to sell in hindsight was at the point where attention began to wane and the sentiment began to dwindle. To me, the whole thing was cut short by the limit of how many stocks you could buy of GameStop from Robinhood and other brokerages. And really, once that all happened, it was all over for GameStop. In my opinion, something needs to be done about this, and whether or not it was intentional doesn't change the fact that it never should have happened in the first place at all. I think this is going to worry a lot of investors who fear that if things are going too well, the clearinghouses could just pull the plug and then cause the price of the stock to go down. Or that big institutional investors are going to take advantage of market movements and then drive up the price of the stock and then dump them all off at the peak media frenzy. It may also be a concern to open forums like Wall Street Bets who don't want to change the narrative of how they analyze stocks. This is something that left such a sour taste for so many people, and that's never something that I want to see when it comes to investing. But at the end of the day, this situation exposed many issues that need to be addressed. It raised more awareness around investing and the importance of diversification, and not investing more than you could lose. And really, no matter what happens, the real winner still is going to be the company itself, GameStop, who has a major chance of turning things around and actually becoming a profitable company. So if you want to stick it to the man, my honest advice here is to support the companies you really believe in by using and buying their product. And over time, that would help put them ahead. And of course, you could also support the businesses and people you like the most by smashing the like button for the YouTube algorithm, because it helps out a lot, and it's totally free to do. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to destroy the subscribe button and the notification bell. Also, feel free to add me on Instagram. I post pretty much daily, so if you want to be a part of it there, feel free to add me there. As my second channel, The Graham Stephan Show, I post there every single day. I don't post here. So if you want to see a brand new video from me every single day, make sure to add yourself to that. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.